Okay? So, ang topic po natin for today is inverse function with restriction. Okay, yung restriction po na sinasabi natin dito is yung restriction po pagdating po sa domain. Okay? So, recap lang tayo ng konti mga anak. So, sinabi natin before or yung definition ko before sa inyo ng inverse. Okay? So, to find an inverse function, okay, the original function or the given function should be one-to-one relation. Okay, kailangan daw po kapag nag-drawing tayo ng horizontal line test, okay, they will just meet on exactly one point. Okay? Pero hindi kasi lahat ng function is one-to-one. So, paano yung mga function na many-to-many, one-to-many, many-to-one? Pwede po ba natin, sir, hanapan ng inverse function? Okay, yes po. Okay, so pwede natin silang hanapan ng inverse function mga anak if we're going to restricted po yung domain po nila. Okay, once kasi na nag-restrict tayo ng domain or parang nag-set tayo ng limitation na ito lang po yung pwedeng gamitin na value ni x po, okay, doon sa given function, okay, maaari po na maging one-to-one po yung function natin. Okay? So, tandaan lang po natin mga anak na if a function is not one-to-one, it cannot have an inverse. Okay? So, for us to have an inverse for those function that is not a one-to-one, we will be restricting the domain of the function so that it becomes one-to-one po. Okay? Kasi we will be creating a new function and then we will be getting this new function an inverse function. Okay, so ganun po yung gagawin natin ngayon. Okay? Let's proceed on the steps. Okay, on how we're going to get the inverse function of a function that is not okay, one-to-one po. Okay? So wala naman po siyang masyadong pinakaiba on the procedure na ginawa po natin before. Yun nga lang, dapat sa una pa lang po, okay, since this function is not a one-to-one, dapat po alam na po natin yung domain. Or we will be determining the restricted domain po nung original function po natin. Okay? Then after natin ma-identify yung restriction, okay, doon na po papasok yung pinaka regular na steps natin, which is we will be replacing the f of x with y. Okay, interchanging the y and then the x doon po sa pinaka function. And then we will be solving for the y. Once we said we are solving for the y, dapat po yung y lang po yung nasa kabilang side ng function. And then lahat po ng variable x and then yung constant should be on the other side of the function as well. Okay? And then kapag na-simplify na po natin yung answer natin, once na wala na po tayong ma-combine na like terms na tinatawag po natin, okay, that will be the time that we will be writing our final answer into the functional notation for the inverse, which is f raised to negative 1 of x, or we are reading it as f inverse of x. Okay? So, kailangan ganun pa rin po. On our final answer, kailangan makikita ko po yung ganito pong functional notation. Okay? For us to identify that that function is a inverse. Pag wala po kasi siyang ganito, meaning that is just a function. Okay? Ang hinahanap natin dito sa topic natin for today is inverse, so hindi po siya pwedeng mawala. Okay? So let's have the first example. So here on the first example mga anak, okay, given na po lahat. Okay? Given na yung function, which is the f of x is equal to the quantity of x minus 4 squared. Okay, given na rin po yung restriction natin. Na kung saan po yung x daw po dapat is greater than or equal kay 4. Okay? Now, ang next natin gagawin, since given naman na po siya, okay, we will be proceeding na po to get the inverse of this original function that we have. Okay? So, dito na po papasok yung papalitan po yung f of x ng y po. Okay, wait lang po ah. So papalitan po natin yung f of x ng y. So this f of x become y, and then we will just be copying the quantity of x minus 4 squared. Okay? Then after nun, we will be interchanging the x and the y on the function. So this y become x, this x become y. The rest, we will just be copying it. Negative 4 and also the square. Okay? Kapag ganito po yung given natin, this is a quadratic one. Okay? Huwag po muna natin i-distribute yung exponent sa loob po ng parenthesis. Okay? Pag dinistribute po kasi natin yan agad, okay, magkakaroon tayo ng dalawang value ng y. We will be having y squared and then y. So, mahihirapan po tayo mag-identify or babalik lang din po tayo sa umpisa na ifa-factor lang din po natin yung pinaka-quadratic function. Okay? So, hindi po natin to i-distribute sa loob. Ang gagawin natin dyan is tatanggalin po natin. Okay? And for us to remove this exponent, okay, we will be uh, getting the square root, both sides of the function. So yung x is square root natin, while y minus 4 squared is square root din po natin. Okay? Para po makancel natin yung square root, makakancel na rin po kasi yung exponent na 2, ang matitira na lang po is y minus 4. Okay? And on the right side of this function, meron tayong positive and negative square root ng x. Okay? Then after po natin matanggal yung exponent, ito namang pong negative 4 yung ililipat po natin sa kabilang side po. Okay? So negative 4 become positive 4, and then kokopyahin lang natin yung positive, negative, the square root of x, and then bring down equal y. Okay? So kapag po nandito na tayo and nakita po natin na hindi na po natin pwedeng pagsamahin or wala na po tayong mako-combine na like terms, that would be the time mga anak na ito pong letter y na ito is papalitan po natin ng functional notation for the inverse. Okay, from y, magiging f inverse of x na po siya, then equal lang po, then kopyahin lang po yun sa kabilang side, which is 4 plus minus the square root of x. Okay? So, ganyan po yung pagkuha ng inverse, okay, on a given quadratic function, and then meron pong restriction. Okay? Now, sir, para saan po ba yung restriction na yan? Hindi naman po natin siya nagamit dun sa pag-solve ng inverse function. Okay, ginagamit natin mga anak yung restriction pagdating po sa graph. Okay? So gagamitin natin yung restriction na ito pagdating po sa graphing po natin. Kasi po ang quadratic, it's a parabola. Again, once we draw a horizontal line, okay, they will intersect into 2 points. Kailangan daw po isa lang. So gagawin natin, we will be using all numbers that is greater than or equal to 4 as a substitute to the variable x. Okay? So domain natin for the original function is x is greater than or equal to 4. And then reverse lang natin yan. Siya naman yung magiging range ng inverse function natin, which is y is greater than or equal kay 4. Okay? Kapag naalaman na po natin yung domain, okay, kahit nung original function lang po, okay, doon na po tayo mag-graph. Okay? So, sir, kindly explain to us or elaborate kung paano po nakuha yung graph na yan. Okay. First of all, mga anak, what you're going to do is you will be drawing a Cartesian plane, and lagi kong sasabihin po sa inyo to, hindi po pwedeng mawala itong broken line na ito. Okay? Itong broken line na ito is the representation of y is equal to x. Kailangan po kasi yung graph ng original function and then the graph of the inverse function is symmetrical with respect with this line. Okay? So, kailangan makikita ko po yung broken line po na yan. And then once po na nagawa nyo na po yan, okay, that will be the time that we will be graphing the original function and then graph na rin po natin yung inverse function po natin. Okay? So sa pag-graph po natin, since ang sabi, we can use any numbers but it should be greater than or equal to 4. Okay, so start po tayo kay 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Okay? So hindi po natin kailangan ng madaming value po ni x para po makita po natin yung graph po ni original and then ni inverse po. Okay? So sir, saan po namin isa-substitute itong mga value po ni x na nare-represent po dito sa PowerPoint? Yung 4, 5, 6, and 7. Dito po ba yan sa original or dito po yan sa inverse? Okay. Ito pong mga value na x na ito is isa-substitute natin doon po sa pinaka-original po na function. Okay? Kasi ang gagawin na lang naman po natin, once na nakuha na po natin yung x and y ni original, okay, pagbabalik na rin lang po natin yun para yun naman po yung magiging coordinates or ordered pair po pagdating po kay inverse. Okay? So, umpisahan natin kay 4. So, if we have x as 4, so magkakaroon tayo ng x minus 4 squared. So, 4 minus 4 squared. Magkakaroon tayo ng 0 squared. And then 0 squared is equal kay 0. So, kapag 4 daw po, 0. Kaya po ito po yung 4, 0. This is for the original function. And then pagbabalik na rin lang natin yung 0 tsaka 4, siya naman yung magiging inverse po. Okay? Next one. Kapag naman daw po 5 yung value ni x. So meron tayong 5 minus 4 squared is equal to 1 squared. And then 1 squared is equal to 1. So kapag meron daw tayong x as 5, meron tayong y 1. So 5 sa x-axis, then bilang ka lang ng isa, that will be on the y-axis. So dito po magmi-meet yung 5 and then yung 1. Okay, pagbalik ta rin lang natin yan. Si 1 naman yung magiging x, si 5 naman yung magiging y. So 1, then bilang ng 5 pataas. So dito po magmi-meet yung para naman po kay inverse function. Okay? Next one. Kapag naman daw po 6. So we have 6 minus 4 squared. So we have 2 squared. And then the answer is 4. So kapag 6 daw po, meron tayong 4. So x-axis, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 4 pataas. So dito po sila mag-meet. Then kagaya lang ng ginagawa natin lagi, pagbabalik na rin lang po. And then doon naman po yung pangkay kay inverse function. And last one, kapag po ang value ng x natin is 7. So we have 7 minus 4 squared. So 3 squared, that would be 9. So 7 and 9. 7 and then 9 pataas. Dito naman po sila mag-meet. And then balik na rin lang po natin ito. Magiging 9 and 7. So 9 and then 7 kay y. Dito naman po sila. Okay? So yan po yung magiging itsura po ng graph po natin. Ito yung graph natin for original. And then this one is the graph for the inverse function. Okay? Wag nyo na pong intindihin or wag nyo na pong gawin ito sa part ninyo kapag magagraph po kayo itong broken line po kay parabola. Okay, this is just a representation mga anak na once nag-graph ko po itong function na ito na walang restriction, okay, ito po yung magiging itsura ng parabola po niya. Pero since nagbigay tayo ng restriction to make it 1-to-1, kaya po we will be using only numbers, okay, from 4 to the positive infinity. Okay, so that would be the example number 1. Do you have question, Germanium? May tanong po ba kayo? Okay, wala. So, maliwanag po tayo ngayon kay number one. Okay. How about, sir, kapag hindi given yung restricted na value po ni domain or yung pinaka-value ni x po natin? Okay? So, kapag hindi naman po siya given, okay, ang gagawin naman po natin mga anak, okay, ganito po siya. Kapag quadratic siya, okay, we will be getting first the axis of symmetry and then the vertex. Okay? So, ganyan po yung pagkuha natin ng domain pagdating kay quadratic. Okay, mamaya po, i-discuss ko din po sa inyo kung paano ba kuhain yung domain ng iba pa pong function. Okay, let's just focus here first. Okay, so we have the function f of x is equal to the quantity of x minus 2 squared minus 3. So, hindi pa given po yung restriction. So, yun po yung unang-una natin hahanapin. Okay? So sa paghanap po ng domain, kailangan daw po muna natin makuha tong axis of symmetry by the use of this formula and then kukuhain natin si vertex. Okay? Isa-isahin po natin. So first thing that we're going to do mga anak, since this is quadratic, it should be written on the standard form. Okay? So the standard form for the quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal kay 0. Kailangan daw po, ganyan po yung magiging answer po natin. Okay? So, ang gagawin po natin mga anak, ito pong exponent na 2 will be distribute inside the parenthesis. And hindi lang po yan yung ginagawa natin na kapag naka-fraction na si 2, squared natin si x, then x squared natin si negative 2. Hindi po. Okay, meron po tayong format by the use of the binomial theorem na kapag daw po ang exponent natin is 2, so refresh lang po tayo ha. So kapag daw po ang exponent natin is 2, ang magiging resulta daw po ng answer dapat is the squared of your letter A plus 2 multiply kay A and B and then plus B squared. Meaning, hindi po 2 terms yung magiging answer po niya once po na dinistribute natin yung 2 sa loob po ng parenthesis. Kailangan po 3 term po ang makikita po natin. Okay, so sagutan na po natin. So, your x will be A, your negative 2 will be letter B. So, x times x, x squared. Okay, 2 times x is 2x. Times negative 2, we have negative 4x. And then lastly, b squared, which is negative 2 squared, kaya po nagkaroon ng positive 4. And then bring down negative 3. Okay? Kapag po na-arrange na po natin yan, or it was already arranged naman na po since nasa unahan po yung x minus 2 squared, okay, we will be combining all the like terms na po. Okay? So, si x squared, sulat lang natin since wala naman siyang kapareho. Ganun din po si negative 4x. This positive 4 and then this negative 3 po, okay, yan po yung pwede nating pagsamahin. Okay? So, 4 minus 3, kaya po nagkaroon ng 1 po dito. Okay? And as you can see mga anak, it was already written on the standard form for the quadratic and it is also written in decreasing order. Meaning, from the highest degree, pababa po. Okay, kasi ganun naman talaga natin dapat sinusulat po yung final answer po natin. Now, as we noticed here on the formula to get the axis of symmetry, meron pong letter B tsaka letter A. Saan po natin yung kukuhain? Kukuhain po natin yan dito. So we will be identifying letter A on this function, letter B, and then letter C. Any volunteer who would like to enumerate to us what is the value of A, B, and C? Yes, sino po ito? Yes, Trixie. No, just the coefficient. Okay, may sagot si Lindsay. Ang sabi niya, A is 1. Yes, Lindsay, that is correct, that the value of A is 1. How about letter B and C? Okay, B is equal to negative 4. That is correct, Trixie. And how about C? Okay. So C is equal to positive 1. So that is correct. So we have A, 1, B, negative 4, C, positive 1. Okay? So ayan po yung isa-substitute natin dito po kay axis of symmetry. Okay? So si B, negative 4, si A, positive 1. Okay? As we notice, meron po ditong negative and then negative din po yung numerator natin. So, imumultiply ko po yung negative dito sa numerator, kaya po magkakaroon tayo ng positive outcome. So, negative times negative, we have positive 4. All over 2 times 1, we have 2. And once we simplify 4 over 2, the answer is 2. Kaya po ang value ng x po natin is equal kay 2. Okay? After natin mga anak ma-identify si x po, okay? That is already the x coordinates for our vertex. Hanapin po natin si y. Okay? So para mahanap natin si y, mga anak, we will be substituting this value of x dito po sa function na nakita po natin or na form po natin na bago. Okay? So lahat po ng x gagawin po nating 2. So we will be having 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 1. 2 squared is equal to 4. Negative 4 multiply k 2, we have negative 8 and then positive 1. 4 minus 8 is equal to negative 4 and then plus 1, we will be having negative 3. So that negative 3 will be the y on the ordered pairs ng vertex po natin. Okay? So yan na po yung magiging domain and range po natin pagdating po dito kay quadratic sa example number 2. Okay? So as we notice mga anak that this graph, since this is a quadratic, the graph will be parabola, okay, with the vertex of 2 comma negative 3. So in order for us to make this a 1-to-1, okay, we will be limiting the domain to x is greater than or equal to positive 2. Kung ano po yung value ng x na nakuha natin, and that is the axis of symmetry, that will be the value, okay, of the x. Okay, starting value ng x natin for the domain. Okay, ng restriction po natin. Okay, so we will be using all positive numbers that is greater than or equal kay positive 2. Okay, so let's proceed now on the inverse. Okay, so sa pagkuha ng inverse, since we already know the domain, that is x is greater than or equal k 2, so proceed na po tayo sa pagpalit po ng f of x ng y. Interchanging this, the x and y's on the function. And then again, okay, wag natin i-distribute si 2. Okay, isa-isahin po natin. Okay, etong negative 3, ilipat po muna natin sa kabila. Nagkaroon tayo ng x plus 3. Bring down, equal y minus 2 squared. To remove the exponent here, again, square root po natin both sides. So itong square root symbol, cancel. The exponent will be canceled also. Matitira na lang po is y minus 2. On the other side, meron po tayong positive, negative square root of x plus 3. Okay? And then last, negative 2 will be transposed on the other side. Kaya po nagkaroon ng positive 2, positive, negative, the square root of x plus 3 is equal to y. Again, hindi na natin siya pwedeng pagsamahin. So that will be the answer. We will be changing this y into the functional notation for the inverse. Okay, so we have f inverse of x is equal to 2 positive negative the square root of x plus 3. Okay? So ito po yung inverse po ng given function or ng original function po natin. Now, since we have the original, we have the restriction for the domain, we have the function for the inverse, next step that we're going to do is to graph it. Okay? Just like what we did earlier. So, magbibigay lang tayo ng value ni x base po doon sa restriction po na nakuha po natin kanina. Ang sabi, x should be greater than or equal to positive 2. So we will be using 2 hanggang positive infinity. Pero again, konti lang po yung gagamitin po natin. Okay? So the value of x that we will be using will be 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, apat lang po na value ni x. Now, isa-substitute po natin ito dito po sa original function. So kapag daw po ang x natin is 2, so we have f of 2 is equal to 2 minus 2 squared minus 3. So 2 minus 2 is 0. 0 squared po natin. Okay, that would be 0. Then minus 3. The answer is negative 3. So kapag 2, negative 3. So ito po yung point na yon. So x-axis 2, then baba ka since negative ng 3, and dito po sila magmi-meet. Ayan po yung vertex po natin kanina. And that is also the domain and the range for this function. Yung may restriction na po. Okay? So, paano hahanapin yung kay inverse? Okay? Pagbabalik-tarin nyo lang po yung x and y. Si negative 3 naman po yung x, then si positive 2 naman po yung y. Kaya po, bilang ka ng negative 3 dito, and then angat ka ng 2, dito po magkikita yung sa inverse function. Okay? Next one, kapag po ang value ng x natin is positive 3. So, meron tayong 3 minus 2 squared minus 3. So, that would be 1 squared minus 3. And then 1 times 1 is 1. 1 minus 3, we have negative 2. So, 3 and then negative 2. So, 1, 2, 3, negative 2, 1, 2. So, dito po sila magmi-meet for the original function. Now, kapag kay inverse, balik ta rin, negative 2, then bilang ng 3, pataas. So, dito naman po sila magmi-meet pagdating kay inverse function. Okay? No need to substitute different value of x dun sa inverse po natin, ha? Okay. Okay na po tayo makuha yung mga coordinates or ordered pair po ni original. Then, pagbalik ta rin na lang po natin para po makita natin yung magiging graph po. Okay. Ng inverse po natin dito. Okay, let's continue that if our x is equal kay 4. So, 4 minus 2 squared minus 3. So, 4 minus 2, we have 2 squared. 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 3, we have positive 1. Okay? So, 4, 1. So, 4. Angat lang ng isa. And then, for the inverse, magiging 1, 4. 1. And then, bilang ng 4 pataas. So, dito po sila. And then, lastly, if our value of x is 5. Okay? So, 5 minus 2 squared minus 3. So, 5 minus 2, we have 3 squared minus 3. So, 9 minus 3, we have positive 6. So, kapag 5, 6 daw po. So, 5, bilang ka ng 6 pataas, magkikita sila dito. For the inverse, 6 naman yung x-axis. Then, bilang ka ng 5 pataas, they will meet here. Okay? So, once you already have those points, and you've already draw a y is equal to x dun sa Cartesian plane mo, okay, you will notice once you connect the dots or once you connect all the points on your Cartesian plane, it is symmetrical. Okay, doon po sa original, yung inverse. So kapag symmetrical, meaning tama po yung answer po natin. Okay? So ganyan lang po yung gagawin po natin. Ang pinagkaiba lang po talaga dito sa with restriction is kapag hindi po one-to-one yung given na function. Okay? So, dun lang po tayo magre-restrict. Pero kapag one-to-one po yung given na function, okay, you don't have to get the domain and then you will choose what value of x you're going to do or you're going to use. Dire-diretso na po yun. Okay, so automatic na po yun na kapag linear, that is a one-to-one, and then lahat po ng possible value ni x is pwede po natin gamitin. Okay? So, do you have question mga anak on the example number 2? Is it clear or may gusto po ba kayong linawin pa po? Maliwanag po ba yung pagkaka-explain po ng conversion from original function to the inverse? Yes? Okay. How about mga anak yung pagkuha ng domain po natin? Naintindihan po ba yon? Yung sa axis of symmetry? So, pagkuha naman ng domain ni quadratic, okay, that is just one of the ways how to get it. So, the axis of symmetry. So, tandaan nyo lang po yung formula na yon na negative b over 2a. Okay, last question. How about sa graphing mga anak? Hindi po ba kayo nalilito sa pag-graph po natin ng inverse tsaka ng original? Germanium? Okay, so mukhang hindi naman at wala pong sumasagot sa akin. Okay, so sa pag-graph naman po, once we already know the restriction po or limitation po ng mga value po ni x po natin, okay, we can easily substitute it naman na po, and I know on myself that all of you already know how to evaluate a function. Okay, so alam nyo naman na po yung pinaka-basic operation natin, which is we will be following the PEMDAS rule. Okay? So, yan po yung example number 2. Now, for example number 3, paano kapag may square root? Okay? Kasi yes, Yvonne, this lecture is recorded. So, after nito, I'm going to upload it on my YouTube channel. Okay? So, once naman po na mayroon tayong na-encountered na may radical sign. Okay? Kasi kay linear, okay, di ba pag kumukuha tayo ng ng domain kay linear, automatic that is all real numbers since that is a straight line. Okay? Pag kay quadratic, we can use the vertex, okay, or the axis of the symmetry. Pagdating kay rational, i-check lang natin yung denominator and we will be making sure na dapat hindi siya magiging zero. Okay, paano kapag may square root kayong nakita or radical sign? So kapag po may radical sign po tayong nakita, okay, ang pagkuha po ng domain yan is hindi na po kailangan pang computed. Okay? Titignan nyo lang po yung given function. Tuturuan ko kayo mga anak ha. So tignan lang natin yung given function and then we will be analyzing. Okay? What are the values of x kaya na pwede kong gamitin na hindi magiging negative yung nasa loob nung square root sign or nung radical sign. Okay? Meron tayong x minus 4. Ano kaya yung value ni x na kapag sinubtract kay 4, hindi siya magiging negative? Anyone? Germanium? Ano kaya yung value na yon? Justin Laba? Justin? Mr. Justin? Can you answer my question? Ano kaya yung value ni x na hindi natin pwedeng gamitin or ano kaya yung value ni x na pwede natin gamitin na kung saan hindi po siya magiging negative? Justin. John Mel Canayong. Germanium, I need your participation. 5. Okay, Jared, yes, we can use 5. That is correct because 5 minus 4 is positive 1. Yes, Priscilla, 6, 7, 8. Pero saan talaga tayo mag-uumpisa mga anak? So tama yung mga sinabi nyo, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that is correct mga anak. We will be starting, okay, on positive 4 papunta po ng positive infinity. Okay, bakit po sir? Okay, so once we substitute po 4 on the value, once we substitute po 4 as a value of x, okay, ang magiging resulta po niyan is 4 minus 4, and that will be the square root of 0, and the square root of 0 is 0. So meaning yan mga anak, kasama yung 4, and then greater than number, okay, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the positive infinity is pwede po natin gamitin. Okay, yung 3 pababa, hindi natin sila pwedeng gamitin kasi po magkakaroon tayo ng negative sign sa loob po ng radical sign or ng radical symbol po natin na dapat po nating iwasan. Okay? Therefore, mga anak, if the domain, okay, of this function is x is greater than 4, the range of the original function is, this is y. So y is greater than or equal to 0. Okay? And then kapag binaliktad naman natin yan, kung ito yung domain, so ang range, kung ito po pala yung range ng original function natin, then ang domain po ng inverse is x is greater than or equal to 0. Okay? So ganyan po natin siya hahanapin. Since meron na tayong restriction, alam na natin na simula 4 papuntang positive numbers pwede natin gamitin, we can proceed na po dun sa pagkuha ng inverse function. Okay, f of x will be changed into y, then y will be interchanged by x interchanged ng y. This time mga anak, yung square root naman yung problemahin natin. Okay, kasi kailangan na y lang yung matitira. To remove this square root, okay, ang gagawin po natin is we will be getting the squared of both sides. Meaning, si x po is squared po natin, and then the square root of y minus 4 is i-squared po natin. So that it will be cancelled, and ito rin pong exponent, ang matitira na lang po is y minus 4. And then copy of course yung other side na x squared. Next natin gagawin, transpose negative 4 to the other side. Magkakaroon tayo ng x squared plus 4. Okay, then bring down equal to y. Since wala na po tayong pwedeng gawin dito, we will be writing our final answer into the functional notation for the inverse. So we have f inverse of x is equal to x squared plus 4, and this will be the inverse of this original function. Okay? So, ganun lang po yung gagawin natin ha. We will be getting the restriction or the domain for this function. And once we get it, okay, that will be the time that we will be finding the inverse for the original function given. Okay, so once na nakuha na po natin iyan, so ang gagawin na po natin is to graph. Okay, so ganun lang din po yung gagawin natin. Bibigay lang tayo ng value ni x tsaka ni x, substitute lang natin sa original function, and we will see na po kung ano po magiging itsura ng graph natin. Okay? So since from positive 4, so let's start from 4, 5, and 6. Tatlo na lang po. Pwede na po yan. So kapag po ang x daw po is 4, so this is 4, so we will be having the square root of 4 minus 4. So that will be the square root of 0. Square root ng 0 is 0. So 0 po ang y natin. Ayan siya. Okay? Next naman po, kapag po daw 5. So kapag 5 naman po, 5 minus 1, that will be the square root of 4. Square root ng 4 is 2. So 5, 2. Sorry for the graph so mali yung graph natin dito. So we will start here, 40, ayusin natin. So 40, this is 04, and this is 40. And then kapag 5 naman daw po, we have 2. So 5 and then 2. So dito po siya. And then 2, 5. Dito naman po. 2, 5, 5, 2. Sorry, naliitan po yung graph. Okay? And then kapag 6 naman daw po yung value ng x natin, we will be having 6 minus 4. Sorry, this is 4. Oh my gosh. Wrong. Sorry. Edit ko na lang to. Mali pala ako. No, overwhelmed na ako. Sorry po. Okay, so this is not minus 1. So this will not be 4 and this will not be 2. Ulit. So kapag ang value daw po ni x is 5, so that will be 4. 5 minus 1 is 5 minus 4 is 1. Then square root ng 1, 1. So kapag 5 daw po pala 1, sorry, I apologize. So kapag si 5, 1 daw po. So 5, 1. So kay inverse naman po, 1 and then 5. And then kapag kay 6, we have 6 minus 4. So that will be the square root of 2. And the square root of 2 is 1.48. Tama po ba ako? Pa-double check nga po sa calculator po ninyo. What is the square root of 2? Mga anak, what is the square root of 2 po? 1.41? Anong kasunod ng 1, Trixie? 4, okay. So that will be 1.41. So this is between 1 and 2. So kapag daw 6, between 1 and 2, let's say almost halved, but not literally halved. So nandito po siya banda. So this will be 6 and then 1.41. So while for the inverse, we have 1.41 here, and then nandito yung 6. Ayan, so 1.41, 6. Sorry, naliitan po yung graph, pero pareho lang naman po yan ng direction. So yung graph po natin, papunta po yan dito. Okay, yung graph naman po natin for the original, papunta naman po siya dito. Okay, so yung nandyan sa picture na may color, so kinapos po ng konti, hindi lang po nataasan. Pero yung black po na bago nating plot, that is the original graph for the function, the original function, and then for the inverse po. Okay? So yun lang po yung example ko, and that will be all for the inverse function. Do you have question, children?